Here's another example. Determine the number of feet in the height of a trapezoid, which has a shorter base of length 16 feet, a longer base, which is 1.5 times longer than the short base, and an area times, okay, not adding, not 16 plus 1.5, times. Literally, you multiply 1.5 by 16 to get the new length. And an area of 720. Okay, so you know the area. We're talking about a trapezoid. If you have a trapezoid, then you have base 1, base 2, and height to consider. Do you need to draw a picture? Not really. Could you? Sure. Here's my picture. Area is 720 square yards. The shorter base has a length of 16 feet. The longer base is 1.5 times longer than the short base. If I said that it was 2 times longer than the short base, then it would be 32. All you need to do is multiply by that number. So if I needed to multiply 16 times 1.5, you could obviously just punch this into a calculator, but I know that 1.5 is really 3 over 2. 16 is really 16 over 1. 16 and 2 can reduce. I'm left with 8 and 3. And 8 times 3 is 24. That means my longer base is 24, and the height is what I'm looking for. I also have the area of a trapezoid memorized because I'm being a responsible geometry student. Okay, here's the other catch. The area is 720 square yards. We want the number of feet in the height, feet. So I need to either make everything feet or everything yards. If I have 720 square yards, how many square feet is that? So you have a couple ways you can do this. You could either change this into feet, or you can change these into yards. Now I did throw a few questions like this at you at other times on homeworks. What do I need to do to 720 square yards to change this into square feet? What if you had 1 square yard? What does that even mean? 1 square yard is literally a square that is 3 feet by 3 feet. 1 square yard. How many square feet are in 1 square yard? 9 square feet. So does that mean we just multiply the square yards by 3 to get the answer? It's multiplied by 3 squared. It's the same relationship that we're looking at with a squared and b squared versus a and b. What I need to do is take my 720 and multiply that by 9. 720 square yards would therefore be equal to 6,480 square feet. And that equals 1/2 of 16 feet plus 24 feet times height. 16 plus 24 is 40 feet. 1/2 of 40 is 20. We're trying to get h alone. We're going to divide both sides by 20 feet. 20 and 20 reduces to 1. 6,480 divided by 20 is 324. Feet squared divided by feet is feet equals h. Then you only type in the number, no units, no spaces, no nothing, 324. What if we changed everything to yards? What numbers would we use instead? So when we changed everything into feet, we used 6, 4, 8, 0, 16, and 24. If we were going to change everything into yards, how many yards is 24 feet? 8. There are 8 yards in 24 feet. How many yards are in 16 feet? 15 feet would be 5 yards, and now we have 1 extra foot. We don't want to use 5 1/3, so we're going to change this into an improper fraction. 5 1/3 would become 16 thirds. So now I have these 3 measurements in yards. I can do this problem with yards and then change the yards to feet in the last step. Let's look at it that way. Using the same formula, I'm just going to write it down here. 720 equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2. 16 thirds plus 8 is really 24 thirds times the height. I add these, I'm going to get 40 over 3. 1/2 times 40 over 3, which becomes 20 over 3h equals 720. To get h alone, we're going to multiply both sides by 3 over 20. 720 times 3 over 20. 0 and 0 reduce because I'm basically dividing the top and bottom by 10. 72 and 2 reduce, and that gives me 36. 36 times 3 is 108. But this height is in yards. The height is 108 yards because in green, everything's in yards. 108 yards of height. Question says, determine the number of feet in the height. How many feet are in 108 yards? Well, 108 yards times 3, because there's 3 feet in 1 yard. What's 100 times 3? 300. And what's 8 times 3? 24. So you get another confirmation that the answer is 324. That is the number of feet in the height of the trapezoid.